This week's best MMA bets, we're talking UFC 281, Adesanya versus Pereira. We're going to talk about most confident picks, my lock of the week, favorite underdogs, value bets, and props, and then we will finish it out with the parlays. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe, turn those post notifications on, and make sure to share the video as well. Let's recap last week's result. Lock of the week last week was Shailan Norden-Beke. He beats Darrick Minner. Little bit of a weird fight because of that injury and then the crazy line movement late. I'm happy it turned out to be a lock. I don't know what behind the scenes shit was going on. There was definitely some inside information that went down with that one, but ultimately I picked it early on. It's not because of hearing anything through the grapevine. I really just thought Shailan Norden-Beke was going to knock him out. He gets himself an impressive win. Unfortunately, injury for Minner, which is not the way you want to see fights end. If you look at the dog of the week, it was a close money dog. It was Daniel Rodriguez at around plus 100. He lost by submission to Neil Magny. Damn. Last week's dog of the week didn't hit, so I'm ready to come back with a fucking vengeance this week and also jump at something more valuable. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek for you guys. Ultimately, great card. Last week, I think this card is going to be a fucking banger. And when you look at the dog side too last week, only one underdog on the whole card won. And that was Amanda Lemos in the main event. So shout out to her for being an absolute savage. Let's get into the most confident pick section. I like this first one a lot here. It's going to be Dominic Reyes. And I know some people are very hesitant to ride with Reyes. I'm sold on his comeback. I really feel like he beats a fighter like Ryan Spann 9 times out of 10. I think that he really should work him. Reyes, good southpaw, fast hands. Spann, he's not chinny, but his durability isn't the greatest. And I think that the power that Reyes can generate will hurt him. Also note, he is training with current title challenger Alex Pereira, the other former champion at light heavyweight, Glover Teixeira, who's fighting Yuri Prochazka next month. He's around top-level guys, and this shift of teams, I'm expecting to be like a reinvigorated version of Dominic Reyes. The confidence seems to be there. I really feel like Ryan Spann is just too hittable. Reyes wins the fight. Moneyline odds are minus 210. It is not a crazy great line. 2-1, a guy that's been out for a while. But ultimately, I really think he's vastly superior to his opponent, Ryan Spann, here. And the only losses that Reyes has are John Jones, the GOAT, and then he lost to Jan Blachowicz, who became the champion, and he also lost to Yuri Prochazka, who is the current champion of the world. These defeats, to me, I don't think are like nail in it, like put the coffin in, career's over. I think that you're going to see Reyes come back renewed. He's going to win this fight, and we'll see what he does, after this matchup. Now, as far as prop betting, I like KO. It's plus 120. I expect Reyes to stop Ryan Spann. Under 2.5 rounds at minus 205 isn't all that bad either. I like Dominic Reyes to win the fight. One of the most confident picks. I personally like to attack him here. Dom Reyes for the victory. Let's keep running. Next one, Weili Zhang at minus 350 over Carla Esparza. It's an ugly line, but I think Weili has this fight in the bag. I really think that she's going to be so much physically stronger than Carla Esparza. She's going to be able to stop the wrestling attack on the feet. Weili is going to embarrass Carla Esparza. I think she's going to beat her up similar to what Joanna Jędrzejczyk did many years ago when Esparza had the belt for the first time. Esparza's never defended the title. She's held it twice. I don't believe she defends it here. I think that Weili goes out there and works her, getting the knockout win. The knockout prop is sitting at plus 130. I think the knockout prop is something worth playing. I do think the money line attack might be a bit wide unless you're going ham at it. Stay tuned for the parlay section where we'll bring that Weili side back up again. Now, I looked through the most confident picks, and I really wanted to go with one in my heart that I felt was the true lock of the week.
Dustin the Diamond Poirier!
Dustin the Diamond Poirier. I believe he's going to beat Michael Chandler. If you look at Michael Chandler, his style is always kind of fan-friendly, pressure, warfare. Yes, he's got great wrestling. It's in the back pocket, but very rarely does he reach back there unless he's in real danger. And ultimately, Dustin Poirier is not a guy that's going to be getting bullied on the ground. I think Dustin Poirier is going to be in a scrap for the first round. I do believe it's going to be ultra competitive early. As Chandler lets everything go, I do think he could get caught at any point throughout this fight. I think Dustin Poirier by KO at plus 165 is a really good play. I see a knockout in this fight. I don't want to say Michael Chandler's chinny, but he does get put down. Tony Ferguson dropped him with a straight shot that was clean on the chin, but it wasn't this huge bomb. But Dustin Poirier is vastly superior in the technical boxing. He's a southpaw. He finds his shots really well. I think he can find that chin of Michael Chandler on the feet and put him out. And what's going to maybe be fight of the year, Michael Chandler talked about a little bit about trying to do what he can to win the fight over just entertaining the crowd. But then at the press conference, you hear him again say, this is just how I fight. It's going to be, influenced by the crowd is really what I took it as. And he's going to get into a war. I expect this fight to deliver. It might be better than Gaethje Chandler. And I think Dustin Poirier gets himself the knockout win, beating Michael Chandler. And he's probably then going to be fighting against Islam Makhachev because we don't know what's going on with that Alexander Volkanovski matchup. Lock of the week, Dustin Poirier, the OG, somebody that I'm willing to back with a lot of confidence, a proven savage, and I can't wait for this matchup. Let's jump to the next segment, the favorite underdogs. Dog number one, it's going to be Frankie Edgar, and I know it is not my pick. When I did my breakdown, I picked Chris Gutierrez, but betting the side of Gutierrez against an OG like Frankie Edgar, to me, just didn't feel right. I think a Frankie Edgar moneyline attack at plus 185, even if it's not a heavy attack, is kind of worth it here. I also think the decision prop is a very solid idea at plus 315. This could be a fight, too, that you're looking at the live betting, depending on if Chris Gutierrez can stop the takedowns. Now, respect Gutierrez's striking game. It so much so made me pick him to win the fight. But the betting side for me on Gutierrez around minus 225, I don't want to do it. I know Frankie is old. He's past the prime. And there's a reason that I picked against him here. But if you're looking at value betting side, Frankie Edgar at plus 185. At the end of the day, look at the Vera fight. He still had great moments there. I know Sandhagen knocks him out with one flying knee. But ultimately, Frankie, if he can succeed on takedown attempts, and we've seen Gutierrez in the past, Cody Durden's a name that, brought Gutierrez to the draw. Good wrestler. There was moments of struggle. If we can see a top-heavy control game by Edgar, if he's able to consistently land takedowns, and to be honest, Frankie can still box too. If he can close that gap, avoid those damaging low kicks, which Gutierrez is so good at, I think there'll be success for Frankie. Value bet, underdog, and one that I think worth playing. This is Frankie's last go. Next of the dogs, it's going to be Mike Trizano at plus 140 over Seungwoo Choi. Seungwoo Choi, to me, makes mistakes and is hittable. Now, is Trizano not hittable? I'm not saying he isn't. He's definitely hittable as well. But Choi, at times, I think he overthrows his shots. There's an opening for a lead hook with, I really think Trizano, one of his best, maybe his best punch is going to be that lead hook. I think he can find the chin of Seungwoo Choi, especially if he gets Choi into a bit of a scrap. There could definitely be a knockout here. Mike Trizano, more of a tight kickboxing style. Seungwoo Choi fights better from distance, more of a rangy kickboxing style. I like Trizano to win. The money line plus 140 is okay. The knockout prop is at plus 1,000. As wide as that is, I do believe it's definitely worth a sprinkle. Even if I wasn't talking about Trizano as a dog of the week, I would have brought up that plus 1,000 prop because I think there's good value there and I think the possibility is fairly real. Let me talk to you guys about the dog of the week. Molly McCann, Molly Meatballs. It's plus 315. And I know some people are going to say, dude, you're crazy for picking Molly. She's got a deep stance, which I do believe Erin Blanchfield will have a harder time getting to her on the floor. She's going to get touched up on the feet, this being Erin Blanchfield. If she chooses to strike with Molly Meatballs, Molly has real dangerous power in her hands. She's got incredible elbows. She's explosive. As I said, that deep stance, which I do believe is going to cause for better takedown defense. If Molly can get some shots off, I think she'll have a lot of success on the feet. She's plus 315 money line. That is an outrageously wide line. Erin Blanchfield is out here looking like a Dagestani type line here in the minus 400 plus range. Also, note this, the KO prop plus 650. The money line for Molly Meatballs, to me, is that dog of the week. Is it risky? Absolutely. Erin Blanchfield is on a tear. She's the prospect on the rise. But Molly McCann's an OG who's also on a tear right now. I'm riding with Molly Meatballs to get the win as the dog of the week in a fight that I'm damn excited for. Super excited for it. Now let's jump to the next section and let's talk some prop/value bets. The first one is actually going to be a money line bet, which is rare for me to bring up in this section, but I think Carlos Ulberg at -125, I do think he can beat Nikolai Negumereanu. He's going to be able to manage distance on the feet. Yes, Negumereanu has the wrestling in the back pocket. I think the takedown defense of City Kickboxing team is extremely good. I think you're going to see that here with Carlos Ulberg, and I do believe he has an incredible performance beating Nikolai Negumereanu. The money line would be where I would go. I'm kind of thinking knockout is possible, but no, Negumereanu just one loss, and he has not been knocked out like that. Like, he doesn't get flattened out. This is a guy with a very good chin. Look at the Kennedy and Nzechukwu fight. They're going back and forth. Ultimately, that was a super competitive fight on the feet. Ulberg lost to Nzechukwu, but note, Carlos Ulberg was destroying him up until he gassed out over going for the KO. I expect a patient Ulberg to win this matchup here, and I'm seeing consistent improvements. The next one is a legitimate prop. It's going to be Dan Hooker by KO at +250. I think he can catch Claudio Puelles coming in with a knee and knock him out. I think Dan Hooker's due for a knockout win. I think he gets it over Claudio Puelles here. I'm super hyped for that matchup. I think Puelles is getting outworked on the feet for sure. I don't believe he has the wrestling to easily get Dan Hooker down. Does he have the jiu-jitsu? Absolutely. If Dan Hooker chooses to play that ground game, could get himself into trouble. That knockout prop +250, I do believe, is fairly live. I mean, the Dan Hooker money line's not bad. I'll just bring it up for shits and giggles. It's -140. Now, looking down to the next one, Ottoman Azaitar by KO. I think this is another one that's even more of a sniper. The money line is not crazy wide. It's about -120 for Azaitar. The KO prop at +165. Matt Frivola knocked out in 7 seconds by Terrence McKinney, but that's not the reason that I'm picking him to lose by KO here. He's been knocked out in the past. It's the knockout power, though, that Azaitar brings. He's very explosive. He's a super dangerous guy with his hooks. I think he finds the chin of Frivola, and also note that Frivola is sometimes willing to get down and brawl, and I think that will get him hurt badly against Ottoman Azaitar. So I'm really liking that +165 KO prop. I want to bring it to the parlays section. Let's talk about it. Parlay number one. This is not the safest parlay of the week. This is the City Kickboxing parlay. +850. You have Ulberg, you have Riddell, you have Dan Hooker, and you have Israel Adesanya at +850, riding with the whole City Kickboxing team. Ultimately, yeah, that could be a scary play. I think there's some live fights for all 4 of them. I have picked all 4 of them to win. Alex Pereira, let's see if the boogeyman can take out Izzy, who's on his way to being an all-time great, especially middleweight great. I like that City Kickboxing play at +850. I think all of them can get the win. But if you're looking for less value, more safety, let's do this one. Dustin Poirier, Zhang Weili, Dominic Reyes, +175. I think that hits. I really do. I'm high confident in that one. Zhang Weili, Dustin Poirier, Ottoman Azaitar, a little bit wider, a little more plus money, +225. Now, if you were interested in really trying to chase the value, you want more plus money, this next one I think is pretty good. Weili Zhang, Dustin Poirier, Ottoman Azaitar, Carlos Ulberg, and then you add in Dominic Reyes as well, +785. That +785 tag is pretty damn juicy. And I think all of them have a very legit chance to win their fights. That's a sneaky play. This next one is going to be including the dog of the week, Molly Meatballs. It's the same as the last one. I'll reread it, though. Zhang, Poirier, Azaitar, Ulberg, Reyes, Molly Meatballs at +3,430. That is the lottery ticket parlay of this week. Ultimately, sure, it's risky. Molly's in a hell of a fucking fight, but I do believe she can come through and get the win. As, in my opinion, a very underestimated dog here. The line is just too wide, in my opinion, and I'm not sold on Erin Blanchfield yet. We'll find out on fight day how she brings the heat. Ultimately, guys, UFC 281, it is bringing the heat. I cannot wait for this card. It's going to be crazy. I'll be live for the entire thing, so make sure you guys tune into the Fight Companion on Saturday. UFC 281's coming in fast too. Like, I feel like it was just UFC 280. Now it's already UFC 281. The main event's going to be crazy. Guys, smash the hell out of the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Turn those post notifications on. Let me know in the comments what is your lock and dog of the week. And also let me know the other bets that you have. And what do you think of mine? Do you think I'm crazy for my lock and dog of the week? Do you totally disagree? Or are you on my side and you're seeing it the same way? Much love, my people. I appreciate each and every one of you for the consistent support. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everyone.